What are the worst things that an athlete can do when they have a mental block?
To focus on the mental block.
Okay.
I would say one of the most challenging, well, two things really. The first thing is saying my mental block. That is one of the key phrases. Every time I work with an athlete one-on-one or even in groups, anytime I hear an athlete say my mental block, I stop and we talk about it. So I ask, if you think about my mental block, think of a mental block again as like this big scary monster on a leash that you're carrying around with you. Okay. Now I want you to think of your pet. Okay. Do you have pet? You have pets, right?
Yeah.
What do you have?
Yeah, my dog.
A dog. Okay. So your
Yeah.
dog, like what do you say? It's like, oh, this dog. It's like, no, it's my dog, right?
Yeah.
And you take care of it. You take it for walks, you feed it, right? You want to, I don't know how some people go to a lot of effort to take care of their animals, but there's a lot of care that goes into it because it's yours. There's ownership, there's possession over it, right? So when athletes say my mental block, they're owning it. They're making it something that they're going to carry around with them. And what happens is it becomes it becomes almost this like weight and this burden. And so again, every time they go into the gym, it's not, hey, I'm Susie and I'm here to tumble and work on challenges and to work on improving my skills. It's, hey, I have this really hard thing that I'm dealing with and I don't know that I can beat it today. Right? It feels
Mhm.
so big. And so I think just shifting from my mental block, which is this big scary thing, to a challenge I'm working through. Like it's just a challenge because that's what's
Yeah.
true, right? Like every
Mhm.
athlete, when you go into the gym, you have 100% to give every single day, but your 100% does not look the same every day. If you're
Yeah.
sick, it's going to look very different than if you're sore or tired or you got a bad grade on a test earlier that day, right?
Mhm.
And so I think just with a mental block, just that term, there's just so much weight that goes into that. And so just not saying my mental block. So shift and start saying this challenge I'm working through. Because challenges are good, right? Mental blocks are
Yeah.
scary. Scary, that feeds
Yeah.
into fear, right? Challenges
Yeah.
are exciting. It's like, ooh, I wonder what's possible for me today.
Yeah.
Like
You
it
want to
just kind of
overcome it.
makes you want to, yeah, it's
Yeah.
exciting to work through. And so that's the first thing. And the second thing is stop focusing on the whole skill. So if you talk to athletes working through mental blocks, it's like, okay, what are you going to do today? What are you going to work on? It's like, oh, I'm going to throw my back handspring. I'm going to do it today. I'm going to do my tuck today by myself. It's like,
Mhm.
that's the big goal. It's like, you don't have control over that. If they
Yeah.
did, they would be doing it, right? And
Yeah.
so walking in every single day with that big goal, you're going to leave feeling defeated more times than not. And the more times that you leave feeling like you didn't accomplish your goal, the less confidence you have. Your confidence takes a
Mhm.
hit. So
Yeah.
you're literally working on this big, scary thing that you have a lot of anxiety around. There's a lot of pressure and buildup. And then you're setting yourself up for failure because you have this massive goal and then you leave defeated. It's like this
Yeah.
negative spiral that's just not
Yeah.
healthy. So those are the two big things. So stop saying my mental block. It's a challenge I'm working through. And stop focusing on the whole skill. Break it down into something that feels more doable, even if it's still a little bit scary.
Mhm. Okay. So if someone found this helpful or they suffer from mental blocks or anxieties or fears themselves, then how can they work with you or how can you help them?
Yeah, absolutely. So the easiest way to get started is to sign up for a no cost conversation with me. So I offer free performance check sessions, and that is a 30-minute virtual call. And the whole point of that is really to discuss what are your goals, what do you want, what's your dream, where do you want to be, and then where you are today. And I want to have a conversation and help this athlete see how to kind of close the gap. How do you get from where you are to where you want to be? And getting them to understand what's happening so they can let go of that frustration. That's really helpful. And what are some steps they can go ahead and start taking to move forward? So that's something I offer. It's called a performance check session. You can get signed up for it at mgpcoach.com/performance check session. And we'll put the link below this video. We'll include it somewhere so that they can get access and get signed up for that. Spots are limited, so if they want to get signed up, if this is interesting, absolutely go ahead and get signed up, please. But it's a great conversation. I spend about 20 minutes with the athlete, then do a parent recap at the end for the last 10 minutes. And it's no pressure, no obligation. It's just, I just want to help you, talk to you, give you some things to think about. give you things to consider maybe you haven't before so that they can move forward in their skills. And then if they found it helpful and they want to know more about what the programs look like and what maybe the best next step would be for them, then at the end of the conversation, then we'll talk through those options together.
All right, that's a good option.
Awesome.
And I know
Thank
you
you.
also have mental coaching or other courses available too, right? And free trainings.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got tons of resources on my website. So if you go to mgpcoach.com, that is where you can find a lot of different resources. Also, we have a course. So I have a 12-week Mind Over Mental Block course that's available. We are going to be adding in some Q&A, office hour, like more live coach sessions. So to make sure that as you're working through the content and the curriculum and my 6-step Mind Over Mental Block process, as you work through that every week, you have an opportunity to ask your questions in person with a coach, one of my expert mental coaches. So that is an option. And then we're also going to be starting small group classes here in the next little bit. So so keep an eye out for information on that. So lots of ways to get support from us. Just get in contact with us however you can. But a good place to start is that mgpcoach.com, our website.